It will be Zeke the Destroyer playing mid, Gragas, Lewis the Leon on that Bruce Lee Sin. He will be going top, it seems, with Wukong jungling, played by Griggy Bear. And the bottom lane, of course, will be Crystal Pistol on Lucian. And his support, Rugba, playing that Thresh over on the red team. Up in the top lane, it will be Iron Zebum on Riven. With the top lane, Lord Krog. Nope, I am directing the camera all sorts of wrong here. On Diana. Zirene will be jungling Vi, with super fast Jellyfish supporting. And Rivington III on Caitlyn in the bottom lane. This is looking to be a fun game. We have our Riot team here on the red side, just named because Rivington III is of course a Riot caster, and Zirene is most certainly going to be a future Riot caster. And the blue team are of course their rivals here, Blizzard. Not that they are, not that they have any sort of bad relationship, but you know, in the end, I am a big fan of Riot and their game. So we will see a pretty typical blue start here from both junglers. Wukong won't be in much of a position to gank top though, so he's either going to have to just stay in the jungle and level up to level 6, or he could potentially move mid, coming up from that bottom, just depending on where Diana wards this right from the start. And we'll see, this Diana versus Gragas matchup is actually one we don't see very often, mostly because Diana isn't played very much anymore. Gragas is certainly everywhere in both pro and solo queue play, but we don't really see much of that Diana. And I think if any were to bring it out in pro play, it would most likely be Skara, but he has a couple of strong picks. There's the barrel roll missing, and I feel like Lord Krog can actually do pretty well in this lane with the double dash, even if he gets knocked back by the explosive cask. If he's ahead, he can do well. If he falls behind, though, the damage from the explosive cask will just be too much, even for his shield to soak up. He'll just have to max that and focus on farming. The top lane can actually go in Lee Sin's favor early on, but once it gets past that level 6, Riven can really win the trades here. If he lands that Sonic Wave, he can win the lane, but without that Sonic Wave resonating strike damage, he will definitely lose out in the trades here to Iron Zebum, playing that awesome Battle Bunny Riven skin. Lewis Leon just resorting to use that safeguard to farm. The Thresh versus Thresh matchup is Iron Zebum with a lot of pressure up in the top lane, but the Thresh versus Thresh matchup really means that it's the AD carries who are left to make their lanes differently, and really Rivington III should have an advantage early on. The mid-game team fights, though, should go over to Crystal Pistol, since Caitlyn doesn't have too much to do in fights without having really strong auto attack damage. Up in the top lane, Iron Zebum and Lewis Leon fighting on. The Ignite goes down on Iron Zebum, but the first blood is there for Zirene in time, and Iron Zebum won't fall to that damage over time. Now, with Wukong ganking in the bottom lane, he won't actually get a very good opportunity to come around here. I'm interested to see if there will be any action. Rivington III is falling pretty low. Rugba's walking up. He's going for the death sentence. Lands onto super fast Jellyfish. Rugba's falling low. The headshot proc is there for Rivington. He grabs out the kill. The Ignite is down on him. Crystal Pistol tries to dash in there, but the barrier is there perfectly placed. Rivington flashes after him, gets the double kill there with the auto attack. Well played, knowing the limits of his champion, and shielding up that damage from Lucian, who went in way too far with the Relentless Pursuit. He must not have estimated the shielding from that barrier, and he's going to be quite behind in this lane. Let me adjust the scoreboard so you can compare where everyone is. And we are getting closer. There we are. And you can see that our red team is definitely ahead at this point, about 1,500 gold. That coming out a lot in the bot lane with the Vampiric Scepter picked up there from Caitlyn, going against the longsword from Lucian. A Vampiric Scepter and boots, really good early pickup on Caitlyn. Not only gives you sustain in the lane, but lets you win the trades, and you can get in for more of those auto attacks and headshot procs that Lucian's range just can't really compare to unless he lands a piercing light from a nice angle. Here Zirene comes into the mid on Zeke the Destroyer, who flashes the Vault Breaker. A really solid gank. Not getting too much from that other than the summoner, but not spending a lot either. Now Zirene knows that he can just kind of own this jungle. He's actually going to find Griggy Bear here on low health, who has to back off, but with the flash down on mid, it means that Zirene can do a lot around in this jungle, and that Gragas can't really stop him too much if he chooses to go in there. He's instead just going to retreat back to his own wolves and go ahead and try to hit that level 6 where his ganks will increase dramatically in their efficiency. When he can go in with the Sultan Battery, it's not only a flash blown, but also most likely a kill. He has a really good team to set it up to. Oh, Lord Craig in a bad spot. He did not hit level 6 in time, and Zeke the Destroyer actually got it with the Ignite, but even without the Explosive Cask, he might have hit that off of the level up. If I rewind just a bit there, I'm curious to see exactly where it was, and it was just a really nice play there from Zeke the Destroyer. Get enough damage with the auto attacks and the Ignite. Gragas' auto attacks cannot be underestimated. He gets the bonus attack damage from his Drunken Rage, as well as just some great mana and health sustain from his Happy Hour passive, and that W, of course. I think Zirene is just going to have to turn his attention elsewhere, since Diana can hopefully hold her own if she gets enough levels in that shield. Iron Zebum just playing aggressively here in the top lane. No level 6 yet, but Lewis the Leon having to fall back. That first blood that was achieved up in the top lane, definitely helping out Iron Zebum here. Craggy Bear tries to come in here, gets the crushing blow. Lewis the Leon going to miss that Sonic Wave. Will continue having a rough time if he can't hit that skill shot. Zirene falling pretty low in the mid lane to, oh man, Iron Zebum in a rough spot, but the Sonic Wave misses yet again. Lewis the Leon having a really rough time with that, maybe because he is playing the Blind Monk. But, oh, Craggy Bear flashes in, tries to get it. Doesn't even get stunned up there, but can't quite do enough damage through that Valor shield, which now only lasts for a second and a half, but that's certainly enough time to block out that Wukong damage. Iron Zebub now hitting level 6 will actually be in a better spot even after that gank than Lewis the Leon will. Rivington just holding his lane by himself while Super Fast Jellyfish comes down. He has to be careful of that death sentence. Rugbot's going to go for it. It isn't juked out. That was a big hitbox. The Flay's going to go back, not actually moving Rivington III. He can net out of this one, and Crystal Pistol will go ahead and cancel his... Was that the culling? No, he's level 4. Of course he doesn't have the culling. My mistake. The Flay, I don't believe worked as intended there, but still a nice escape here. Now setting up potentially for Lord Krog coming in here. Ruga's only level 4. That's some huge damage. Goes in with the ultimate. The Ignite is down as well, and that will be a dead Thresh with the Piltover Peacemaker taking the very last hit there from Rivington. Oh, a nice death sentence from Super Fast Jellyfish, throwing the Flay backwards. The trap going in a pretty good spot, forcing him to run around it, but still not enough damage there in the bottom lane. Zirene just going to keep Zeke the Destroyer from coming down here and counter ganking. A good pink ward there is going to take out the ward, but now Zirene knows where it is and can afford to take that out himself, trade back a bit of gold, and get that vision out. Zeke the Destroyer doing a good job of continually farming and pushing this mid lane, not putting a lot of damage onto the turret though. He definitely needs to claim a big advantage after that gank from his opposing mid laner Lord Krog in the bottom lane. Iron Zebum, after recalling, will pick up a couple Rejuvenation Beads, which is going to go here into a Tiamat, and then eventually into the Ravenous Hydra, combining with that Vampiric Scepter, and that is a very strong item for Riven. Not only does it go well in between her animations, but it'll give her amazing wave clear and AoE damage in team fights if they can catch everyone grouped up, which Thresh is actually a perfect champion to do so. Oh, the Cyclone comes down from Criggy Bear. He tries to go in on the Rivington III. The box comes out from Super Fast Jellyfish, and Criggy Bear can't quite follow in. That sentence doesn't quite push him into turret range. He stealths out of there. And I was definitely expecting a turret hit from that one, but he wasn't quite close enough. Rivington III and Super Fast Jellyfish going to go up forward. Rivington flashes in. I didn't even see the vision there. He didn't have a ward in that bush. Super Fast Jellyfish is ignited. Crystal Pistol's going to jump in there. He gets the double shot from his Gunslinger passive. Crystal Pistol tries to flash away, but the ace in the hole is going to come through for a killing spree. Actually, that looks like a lot more than a killing spree to me. That's his 5th kill of the game. And this North American play-by-play shoutcaster is on fire here. Rugba is going to do his best to defend up this lane, but he has to be careful against the immense range from Caitlyn. If Rivington does decide to go aggressive here, he could certainly get some tower damage, but instead he's going to fall back. He has a lot of gold under his belt. If we check that, he has 2,100. He could pick up an almost a full Bloodthirster at this point. He needs about 200 more gold for that completed item, and that would give him some massive damage on the Piltover Peacemakers as well as every headshot proc Iron Zeba playing aggressively in the top lane, doesn't have his Blade of the Exile ultimate. That's already been burned, and so he won't be able to go in here for the finish on Lewis the Leon. At least I wouldn't expect him to. The ward in, going to go in onto Iron Zeba. Actually, he tries to turn it around, but the damage is there from Lewis the Leon, using that safeguard into great effect. The Tempest also helping keep off some of those auto attacks from Riven. Lord Krog going to go in here aggressively, actually dodges out of the explosive cask with the ultimate, but it might not be enough. Zeke the Destroyer just goes in with the ignite and the auto attacks and takes out the kill there. And that is once again Diana underestimating her opponent. Zeke the Destroyer using that huge attack damage buff on his Drunken Rage, which is currently at 45, to just duel out the enemy mid laner, and that's working great for him. He is falling low in mana, and Zirene is actually going to go in with the Assault and Battery on Zeke the Destroyer. He has a red buff ticking down. He uses the Vault Breaker to push him back a little bit, but the Flash Body Slam is going to get him out in time. That will be the Assault and Battery burn by Zirene, but trading it for a Flash will hopefully set him up. I think he needs to return to this mid lane as soon as his ult is up, because he can't afford to lose Lord Krog too many more times. Diana is going for a defensive build with the Abyssal Scepter, picking up a lot of magic resist early on, as well as being able to reduce the enemy's magic resist themselves. It's not the best on this team, since this is an AD heavy team with a AD jungler, top laner, and carry there in the bottom lane. However, it's probably the best option just to keep him alive against the Destroyer. Griggy Bear tries to go in here to defend, takes a lot of damage, but will be able to keep them off the turret for now. Rivington III just with the ace in the hole, gonna force the block out of Rugba there, and really punishing Crystal Pistol down here, using that range and that early lead here. Has the Bloodthirster, the Vampiric Scepter, and the boots, and is really going to be quite ahead of Crystal Pistol. Now, Caitlyn's mid-game isn't nearly as strong as Lucian's unless she's this far ahead, but with the 5 kills, you'll see the almost 2,000 gold advantage between the two AD carries. Really, the entire advantage here for our Riot squad is going to be on Rivington III here. So it's really going to rely on him to carry this through, potentially set up some early turret taking, which is what Caitlyn is perfect for, and then turn that into map-wide objectives. Zeke the Destroyer trying to move on the Lord Krog here, missing the body slam and the barrel roll. Lord Krog actually goes in, is able to pull him back just a little bit. He's trying to bring Zirene in here, who has Assault and Battery, but doesn't find the opportunity to use it. With the explosive cast down from Zeke the Destroyer, this would be a good time, but the health is just a little too low on Lord Krog. Oh, a shutdown onto Rivington III in the bottom lane. Let's go ahead and see how that happened. It was a gank from Wukong. And he is going to get pulled right in there from the death sentence, and the damage comes off from the Culling and Griggy Bear. Does he flash? Nope, there's a Piercing Light coming across. A good play there. Solid gank from Wukong. Turning that around and getting a nice bit of gold back on the Crystal Pistol. This is what can bring him back into the game, help him get to that Bloodthirster just a little bit quicker, and then turn that into some mid-game objectives. Zeke the Destroyer just continuing to keep his health up in the mid lane. Pushing it out, still not getting a lot of turret damage, but at least forcing Lord Grog back, and he is now about 40 ahead in farm, which is pretty enormous. Zirene going to come in here and try his best to stop him. There's the Vault Breaker coming across. The Explosive Cast going to push him back immediately, but with the Assault and Battery in, he doesn't have anything to stay on him yet. He misses the Vault Breaker to try and stick on him, and will be forced to just come right back here and clear out some of the minions. The turret did fall in the bottom lane to help even out this gold. Iron Zebum going in onto Lewis Leon, who did Dragon's Rage and back into the turret range with the Sonic Wave and Resting Strike. It didn't quite finish him off, and he backed out. I'm not sure that was the best move. He tries to safeguard in. He takes a huge Wind Slash, and Iron Zebum flashes in for the auto attack, but does go down to the Ignite. A really solid play from both of them, but neither one really coming out with the advantage there. I would say ultimately Riven will scale better with this gold, so Lee Sin can't afford to keep trading 1-for-1, especially with how well Riven's been farming up here with a 35 CS advantage. That Ravenous Hydra is already going to start doing work. Lee Sin's going for the same build, but is so much farther behind, just picking up the Vampiric Scepter, not even a Tiamat on him yet. Zeke the Destroyer trying to go into Lord Krog, who's finally holding his own with that Abyssal Scepter. Does a good amount of damage to Zeke the Destroyer there, and that could be the break he's looking for. Zirene starting up the Dragon here could take a good amount of global gold here for the Riot team. Blizzard has been pulling up their advantage, but that pink ward from Zirene expertly going to clear out all the vision here. Rugba tries to come in and stop them. Lord Grog Just going to look for the ult over the wall, but they did drive off Thresh, and it looks like this will be a free dragon for them. And there it is, a solid play, Rivington, there for the Piltover over the corpse. But with his farm, he is going to continue to be ahead of Crystal Pistol here. At this point, I almost want to call every Lucian Vasily, just because I've casted him so many times, and he loves that Lucian, that LMQ AD carry, who just won the semifinals today. Will be progressing into the... or was that the round of 8? No, yeah, this was the round of 8, wasn't it? He'll be going to the semifinals against Skyline. Iron Zebum really working down the health of Lewis the Leon. He has his Bladed Exile ultimate in just a little bit here. Oh, Lord Grog under the... No, I can't direct the turret at all. Or the camera. The Ignite not going to take him out. And, hey, that's a huge break that the Riot casters get cut. That they get a cameraman to do their dirty work for them while they just get to talk about the game. And hey, that's the dream one day, right? Zirene continuing to hold out this mid lane. He's actually picked up a lot of farm here, but it's not the most preferential spot, since you really want Diana to be able to get that, so you can turn that into some mid and late game assassination. Iron Zebum caught up here by the Cyclone, actually turns it around for the 1 versus 2 that the Dragon's Rage back could claim his fate. With the Wind Slash, he almost grabs both of them, but the Safeguard Shield is just enough to keep Lewis and Leon alive here, and keep them both breathing for just a little bit longer. Rivington III falling low in the bottom lane, tries to turn that back around. Look at all the flashing red health bars, but no one dead except for Riven right now. Rivington should be able to stay up. No, the Piercing Light almost filled that with the flash and Relentless Pursuit. He almost went back in. There is a really nice death sentence, but Crystal Pistol will continue in there with the Ardent Blaze. The minions almost able to get in there and finish him off, but he wasn't able to continue on. Lord Krog now doing a lot of work on this turret. That's passive, does proc on every 3rd strike, and it does apply a good amount of magic damage to the turret. If we take a look at the numbers right now, it's currently sitting at not only oh, there it is, not only 20% increased attack speed, but 153 damage to the turret, which does not have... No, it has, I guess, 258 magic resist. I'm not sure if that gets lowered when the minions come in. Iron Zebum continuing to farm up this top lane will be near the top of the game. It is Gragas that takes that number. The Explosive Cask missing completely. I'm not sure where exactly that was aiming for. And yes, it is a lower magic resist number. Still 108 when a minion is around, and it looks like 60 armor. In that case, Lewis the Leon pushes back Iron Zebum with the Dragon's Rage. He goes back in, gets it with the Wind Slash. Is he going to fall to the Ignite here, though? He does, trading 1 for 1 yet again. That's only Riven's 2nd kill, but still a pretty good gold lead to him. If you look, he is about 700 gold ahead of his laning opponent, and that'll only scale better and better as it goes on. Zirene tries to come in for the gank, but Gragas decides to body slam the opposite direction. Very well, Griggy Bear going to catch on to Thresh and Caitlyn here in the river. A ward there only from our Blizzard squad, as Griggy Bear could be caught up a little bit here. He has the stealth to escape, and it looks like they aren't going to pursue him too hard. This could be Zeke the Destroyer in a rough spot, though. He doesn't have his ultimate. He tries to barrel roll onto Lord Krog, but that is super fast Jellyfish and Zirene with the Assault and Battery. Super fast Jellyfish doesn't go for the death sentence, though. I think that might have been a mistake. The Cyclone in from Griggy Bear will be able to find a couple of knockups, but not too much damage. Death sentence comes across onto Zeke the Destroyer. That's the huge Explosive Cask from Zeke the Destroyer, able to knock both of them back into his 5 allies. And this should be a quick mid turret for the Blizzard team. Rivington III will be able to return a turret for our Riot buddies, but really a rough spot here. The gold advantage still going to be for Riot. Oh, Iron Zebum tries to go in there. Crystal Pistol is able to Relentless Pursuit and use that Gunslinger passive for a nice amount of damage there. And Blizzard almost taking the lead here. They just need a couple hundred more gold, and I think they're making the decisions that they need to do so, winning fight after fight, as well as having the 1-turn advantage. They haven't taken a dragon yet. It will be respawning in just over a minute, and I would expect them to set up some spots around there, some nice vision because Gragas can really win a team fight at this point in the game. Even Wukong, his Cyclone wasn't used to max effectiveness last fight, and it still dominated that last engagement. Superfast Jellyfish wasn't able to catch out Zeke the Destroyer too well early on, which enabled him to line up the perfect explosive cask. And I think it's really going to be up to him to lock someone down with the help of Zirene, so that Rivington III can auto-attack him, so Iron Zebum can jump on there, and Lord Krog can also get in there for some nice damage from the Crescent Sweep, as well as, of course, the ultimate Lunar Rush. Iron Zebum has been farming up in the top lane, is actually going for a Last Whisper as his next item for a very aggressive build. No early armor coming out from this enemy team except for potential Aegis of the Legion on Thresh. Zirene tries to come in here up top to assist his ally, and there's Lord Krog going in. The Cyclone knocking them up. Zirene not quite using theirs. Assault and Battery on to Griggy Bear. Iron Zebum jumps right in there and bursts him down tremendously. The Wind Slash is able to take out Lee Sin for the double kill, but the roam from Zeke the Destroyer does find actually 2 kills. I didn't even see Zirene go down. Superfast Jellyfish is up here as well. Will at least be able to defend the turret a bit. Rivington III roaming up here as well, leaving the dragon open for the blue team. Crystal Pistol going to jump in there with the auto attacks, and Rugba following up right after. The Culling coming across is going to do a large amount of damage to the dragon. It scales with both his attack speed and his attack damage. Right now he doesn't have much attack speed besides the Berserker's Greaves, but it's still going to do a total of 1448 damage, which really takes a chunk out of that dragon. The global objective battle is proving to be pretty difficult for the Riot squad right now, and they have to be careful that they don't give up too much here, as Gragas will be able to scale incredibly well. This is also the point where Lucian can be his strongest. Zeke the Destroyer going to go in with the explosive cast, the barrel roll, and the ignite. And he backs off of that, knowing that the ignite is going to be enough to take it out. Another killer for Gragas, 5-0-1. That's exactly the point that that Rivington was in a bit ago. He was shut down and hasn't been able to find a kill since then. His team's only had 4 since Rivington was last on his 5-kill streak. The double ward, of course, in that bush, a typical strategy for teammates who aren't on voice chat. Yes, and it's not quite catching on to Zeke the Destroyer there. I was really excited for the follow-up from Zirene, but the initiation wasn't there. Now, Iron Zebum could be caught up in a rough spot here. Crystal Pistol moving in there, and actually, Riven goes in on that. Immediately, there's the Sun, the Wind Slash, and he eliminates him, as Quickshot would say, deleted, but Wukong using that eraser to remove Riven from the map for another 30 seconds. Lois Leon now looking to push up. Zirene is always there for the turret defense, but I'm not sure he'll be enough at this point. He has the excessive force and the Vault Breaker for some pretty decent wave clear. Griggy Bear actually going to go in there, gets knocked up with the Assault and Battery. He's taking a lot of damage, but the Ace in the Hole comes onto the clone. Rivington, I'm sure that you've caught someone out using that in LCS, but I'm sure you never thought he'd be using it yourself. Now Superfast Jellyfish could find the death sentence here, but won't, as it was flashed away by Rugba. Griggy Bear now caught on by Lord Krog. Finally a kill here for Diana. Her second of the round, but it's felt like she's really latched onto more than she's found. Zeke the Destroyer doing work on this middle turret. That attack damage really coming through for him. 176 right there. The explosive cast going to force Iron Zebum back just a bit, and the body slam taking him to safety. But Lord Krog coming in from the backside, going to be able to move him in, getting the shutdown there on the 5-0 Gragas. And that's exactly the turnaround they needed. Zirene as well answering with a turret in the top lane. They've now taken the gold advantage 1,000, and Riot could move in here to the mid turret. Oh, the Death Sentence lands on the Rivington III, but he still doesn't have any teammates nearby to follow up. A 1,500 gold advantage for our Riot team, proving that they in fact know the game they've created quite well. Solid play coming up from Iron Zebum. Even though he's died a significant number of times, he's still able to just jump onto Crystal Pistol, burst him down immediately. And hopefully in the future he does have a team to back him up. He has kind of the bodyguard crew of Superfast Jellyfish and Zirene. And if he has that, he might be able to survive longer than past that first kill. And that's really what they need, to be able to just rip through. This is a heavy dive squad combined with the siege potential of Caitlyn. Oh, the explosive cast doing a work on Iron Zebub, but he decides to turn in there with the stun, and an excellent moonfall in from Lord Krog, able to disable him for long enough that they take him out without much trouble at all. Not giving up a kill to that Gragas is going to be really important coming in here. He has a large amount of ability power from the Rabatin's Death Cap, as well as from that Athene's Unholy Grail, and it looks like he's going for a Void Staff after for some really solid mid to late game damage. We're getting close to the late game here, but we're not quite there yet. That's why you're not seeing the last whispers out of our AD carries yet. The Blade of the Ring King almost finished up on Lucian, going to really maximize that culling damage, as well as get some really nice procs out on his Gunslinger. Now Kriggy Bear, caught up in a rough spot, is going to pop that stealth. There is a pink ward there, and they should be able to find him. The Assault and Battery being used to take him out. Louis Leon going to go down soon after, but he does find a kill onto Lord Grog. Rivington III in a rough spot, but the culling not going to be able to find him. The auto attack will, though. Triple kill for Zirene. Now going to look for Crystal Pistol, but I think Iron Zebub will take it before he gets down there. That is 1 kill for Riven, 3 kills for Vi. And Zeke the Destroyer, the only one to survive, might go in for the cleanup. If he lands the explosive cask on the super fast jellyfish, he will eliminate him just like that. That was a scenario, and the one he reenacted perfectly. Now he could be walking into a rough spot, though, but he body slams right over the wall. Iron Zebub did pop the Blade of the Exile. Does go in with the Wind Slash, but misses that Gragas, and will just resort to farming the Rays as a consolation prize. 5, 7, and 4, doing pretty well. Picks up the Ionian Boots of Lucidity for the cooldown reduction, of course. A pretty risky choice, since he doesn't take the Mercury Treads to potentially escape from Thresh a little bit better, or the Ninja Tabai to survive the onslaught from Wukong, Lee Sin, and Crystal Pistol. That could be a mistake. He has died quite a bit, but we'll see how he turns it in going farther in. That Chained Vest could potentially be a Guardian Angel. It's a pretty typical Riven item, and if he does opt for that, that really could put him in a good spot to dive into a fight, burst someone down, and then even if he dies, his team should be able to clean up with the strength from Rivington III and Zirene. While he's respawning, Rivington III now caught up by Kriggy Bear, but he flashes the Cyclone, and the Death Sentence is able to bring him in. Lord Krog chasing on to Lee Sin, able to take him out. The Lantern there to save Kriggy Bear, and that has to be one of the most frustrating things to play against, especially with the recent changes where you can't block it, and it's relatively easy to click on. Red team, I believe Riot's just going to go ahead and look for the Dragon here after winning that fight, taking out the Lee Sin, and looking to work up their global gold advantage. I'm surprised, though, that actually not going to move down here. Zyrene's just going to stand in the middle lane, looking for a potential target to assault and battery for Lord Crag to jump right on top of with the Lunar Rush with the Crescent Sweep, and he certainly has a lot of damage on him. Blue team, now Blizzard going to claim this Dragon for themselves, unless Riot has anything to say about that. A nice Descendant's going to claim Rugba's life. Rivington III just auto-attacking away at Crystal Pistol. The auto-attacks are huge here. Zirene going to find him with the Assault and Battery, and Ace in the hole coming across. That is some nice Piltover potential there from the team of Caitlyn and Vi. Riven just got a little bit too far out of her element in the top lane, pushing into enemy waters and falling, getting a good amount of damage on that turret, but with the 8th kill, Riven has to be careful that he doesn't spend too much time in a cascade. Kriggy Bear and a jump over the wall there on the super fast jellyfish. He doesn't have his Cyclone, and actually there is a Cyclone finally, not quite finding super fast jellyfish. The Ignite not taking down enough, and 2 enemies escaping on very low health here. Rugba landing the Death Sentence, going to try and go for Zirene, who's rather tanky here with almost Randuin's and his Spirit of the Ancient Golem. He's actually looking to use that. Oh no, is he going to use the Wallbreaker? No, the Flash away with the Dragon's Rage, going to claim Rivington III here. Zirene does barely dodge out of the Death Sentence, should be able to live here. He has a lot of damage with that Trinity Force. He might want to turn on the Kriggy Bear, but instead he'll back up, wait for his team to respawn, and look to rejoin the fight soon. Would be nice if Lord Grog would be able to do a little bit something with his farm here. And he really needs to, I think, participate, be able to get in onto Crystal Pistol, or even on the Lewis the Leon or Zeke the Destroyer, and try and burst them down as fast as he can. Because right now his team is getting caught out quite a bit, and Rivington III can't afford to die quite like that in the future. It was a pretty difficult play to escape from, Lewis the Leon kicking it back into the team. But, oh, Griggy Bear now caught up in a rough spot. Windslash going to come across, find a little bit of damage. Lord Grog missing the Crescent Sweep, but still should be able to find him there with the auto attacks. Lord Grog taking a kill in the top lane onto that jungler. Wukong having a rough time as well, but finishing up that Randuin's Omen will certainly be able to have a huge impact in team fights. Rivaled, of course, by Zirene with that enormous amount of tankiness and damage coming out from the Trinity Force. The Descendant is not going to find anyone the Valor there to dodge it. With quick reflexes from Riven, I don't think that Superfast Jellyfish wanted to actually catch on with the Descendants there. Maybe. It looks like they'll actually outnumber someone 4-3 here, as it is Crystal Pistol pushing in there. Wait, where's the other Blizzard member? Oh, of course, Griggy Bear is dead. They just killed him. I was a little confused there about where he might be. And so, they would have the numbers advantage. Maybe... could have found something there. Instead, Zirene is just going to go right in there onto Crystal Pistol, take him out, and this is a scary Vi here. If you look at that build, he's getting rather enormous. Has 11,400 gold on him. That's 2,500 more than the opposing jungler there. It looks like Riot will have to retreat just a bit to be able to defend their inner turret here, as Zeke the Destroyer does like to push it down. Has some pretty good wave clear at this point. Has finally picked up that Void Staff. And with that Amplifying Tome, probably going to go into a Zhonya's Hourglass, but it's a little too soon to tell. The Zhonya's has been picked up by his opponent there on Lord Krog. That's going to help him after he jumps in and burns all of his cooldowns. He can pop that to survive the return onslaught and wait for those cooldowns to pop right back up. And keep right on. Zeke the Destroyer is going to probably be his primary target with Crystal Pistol right after, but I'm sure he wouldn't mind finding either of them. Even a pretty squishy Lewis the Leon here on Lee Sin. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets focused down quickly. He has a Ravenous Hydra and a Last Whisper, finally picking up some health from that Giant's Belt, but still going with a particularly Glass Cannon build. Might fall a little more quickly than he likes, but it just really has to... We really have to wait and see what comes from these team fights. We haven't seen too many. It's mostly been small skirmishes, but I feel like with Riot grouping up here in the jungle, might be looking for a team fight there. Is the Descendants catching on to the Wukong clone? Descendants there on Lord Krog. Could pop his Zhonya's here. I wouldn't be surprised. There it is. After finding some damage on the Crystal Pistol, but he'll surely die after. Lee Sin does take out the kill there. Griggy Bear is into the enemy team. Does not pop the... Has already popped the Cyclone. Iron Zebum is here respawning and isn't taken out yet. Comes out with the Windslash before backing out there. A double kill here for Rivington III. A kill for Zirene as well. Crystal Pistol now in a rough spot. Going to follow Rivington III with the triple kill. Ace in the hole comes across for the quadra kill. Rivington III decimating that fight alongside his buddy Zirene. And it turns out that these casters are a bit OP. After observing the game, they clearly know how to play it. A really solid showing from this Piltover crew. No wonder they are partners on the squad as they work to take down this inner turret and even have time to take out this inhibitor after. Really high auto attack damage here coming out from the Static Shiv and the Bloodthirster on Rivington. Zirene as well, being able to bring out those Trinity Force procs on top of his excessive force, really going to whittle down that inhibitor to nothing. Now a 9,000 gold advantage here for the Riot team. Blizzard really scrambling, as they appear to be doing with Heroes of the Storm. No, I'm sure that'll be a fun game. It's just taking a very long time to come out. Zirene with 181 farm, really putting a lot of people in the game to shame. Even Diana barely beating out her own jungler there in the CS front. Rivington with 246 will be at the top of his team, tying with Lord Zebum here. Iron Zebum, sorry, I'm getting these names mixed up just a bit. Lord Krog, Iron Zebum. And definitely some epic names for some epic players, even though our Riven is 5-8. He has been able to contribute quite immensely to team fights, baiting in a lot of damage. burning it up with the Guardian Angel, of course, and then coming out with the Wind Slash across the entire team really helped them to win that fight, get everyone low enough for Rivington to finish off, and keeping Zirene alive, who I feel like at this point might be the bigger threat. He has a lot of defensive items, but he's been doing massive damage in there. Rivington III caught out here by the Death Sentence. He tries to jump in there, but the net is perfectly timed, so he can't fly backwards. He's going to fall immediately to auto attacks. A red buffed Caitlyn here coming out with some massive damage. Really a terror. He's going to net in offensively, looking for the auto attack here. He might be a little bit faster than Griggy Bear with that static shiv. Zirene just going to stick here on the enemy team. Does not have his assault and battery. The Vault Breaker not quite going to connect. Forces 2 flashes out. Crystal Pistol taking that ace in the hole to the face. The flash in from Lord Krog, not able to find anything. Tries to ult in. There it finally is from the Vault Breaker from Zirene. The explosive cask almost finishing off Lord Krog, but leaving him alive. Zeke the Destroyer does find a kill onto Thresh. Iron Z-Bomb does come in there to avenge his fallen support, though. And this fight is turning out to be pretty epic. Rivington III just focusing on the Nexus turrets while the rest of his team try and fight off the rest of Blizzard here. And it looks like Riot will be victorious. Iron Z-Bomb falling very quickly there. Rivington III, can he stay alive in time to finish it? It looks like he will. He's going to flash around. Xpeke. No, but Zirene is there in the back. He gets it out with a final excessive force, taking the game for the Riot squad there in 36 minutes. 31 kills to 25, but a 11,000 gold advantage here. And well played to both teams, but really a strong showing coming out from Zirene's jungle, 7-2 and 10 on Vi, and from Rivington's AD carry Caitlyn, 11-4 and 6.